Welcome back to Bricks and Banner, the show with real talk from the custom LEGO community. I'm your host, Billy, and today we have on a man whose follower count knows no bounds. You may know him for his figure posts, his mocks, or maybe his historical insights, but today we will be diving deep with The.Brickman as he reveals the truth behind his page's success. So with no further ado, here's my conversation with Martin, aka The.Brickman. And here we are with The.Brickman on Instagram, aka Martin. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You were one of the first people who kind of messaged me to try and get on the podcast, and I was like, "No, Martin, stay away. I'm not giving you more publicity." But it's actually going to be awesome to have you on, and you were one of the people I had in mind just because of your big following base, which we're definitely going to get into here. But before that, I'd love to just talk about your start in the community, how you got interested in Lego military at all.
For sure, for sure. It started back in 2015. That's when I found the Brickmania website.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sure most listeners here know who Brickmania is. If you don't, they're just like a massive Lego military company that sells kits and figures.
Mhm.
I randomly found them on Google. I'm not sure how. I was just watching I was watching JS Lego Masters stop motions, and I think someone
Mm.
commented like Brickmania or something. Um, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I bought a couple sets, extremely expensive, but
Yeah,
bought
that's
a
a
couple. And then I went on their website and I saw World War Brick in Anaheim, California. I live
Mhm.
in Los Angeles, so not
Right.
that far away from me. Uh, I was like, oh, cool. I want to go to a Lego convention, specifically military stuff. I think that'd be awesome. So I went there, brought my first ever mock. It was I don't even, it was some Pacific uh, battle. I kind of forgot. I'm not even sure if I have any pictures of it. It was a while ago, but I didn't know anyone in the community. But that was my first time seeing other people's builds and stuff like that. Now, moving forward 2 more years, because
So,
after that,
well, you
well,
just jumped right into the deep end, like first exposure to the military world, and you're like, man, I'm just gonna go to a convention. Is that how it kind of played
uh,
out?
yeah, I mean, because I was looking for kits to buy on the Brickmania website, and then I noticed they had like a tab saying World War Brick, so I just randomly clicked on it, and then it said, "Oh, in Anaheim in like a month." So I was like, "Oh wow, that's perfect."
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah,
And
but
how
that,
long were you
yeah.
interested in Lego? Like prior to that, just like played with it as a kid and stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been throughout my whole childhood. Like I've only asked for Lego basically every Christmas for like the last since I was like 6.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway,
then you
so
say 2 years later.
well, yeah, so yeah, fast forward. So basically, I went to that convention and I was like, all right, that's cool. But then I still didn't know about Flickr and Instagram. Well, I guess Instagram wasn't really that popular at the time, but I still didn't really know about that much stuff or the whole community aspect. So for the next 2 years, I just continued to like make mocks here and there and buy more Brickmania kits. And in 2017, I found two mock contests on YouTube. They're actually the members are the people who hosted those contests are still around, I think. One of the guys is called Maniac Bricks, and then the other guy is War Bricks.
I knew it. I knew it. I was gonna say it. I can't remember who it was, but I've heard somebody else mentioning like that was a big turning point for them was when Peter made that contest too. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I won Maniac Bricks contest, and I think I won War Bricks. I'm not sure, but basically I won those, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I looked at the comments, and there were like a bunch of other people with like military figure profile picture. So it's like there must be some kind of community behind this.
Mm.
And Warbrooks, I won't say his real name, I guess. He kind of like messaged me saying, "Hey, your builds are really good," and I think we kind of just like started talking and he started introducing me to some of his buddies, like Spiky guy
Yep.
and actually California Compliant, the one of the guys who had previously.
Yep. Short
Uh,
Alex.
yeah, yeah. And we were actually there was like a Skype group chat, and we did calls all the time and stuff like that. And then through that, I made my Flickr account for the first time back in so it was July of 2017. That was when I made my very first community Lego military post. Uh,
Awesome.
so yeah, and then from there, it just grew from there. uh, yeah, that's basically how I started.
Yeah, that's awesome. And at what point did you make an Instagram page?
So I can just check. I believe it was because I still have my very first post. It was August 3rd, 2017. So actually, not that. It was about a couple months after my first Flickr post.
Mm, yeah, it's a really sweet start into the community, like just going straight into the deep end and then finding Flickr like this backwards way. It's kind of wild. And winning contests to get you into it. It's
Right,
nutty.
right. No, definitely winning the contest kind of like made me engage and want to like learn more. Not saying if I didn't win, I wouldn't do that, but it definitely like made
Right.
me interested. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just an extra incentive like, whoa, like what's this?
Right.
But yeah, that's great. And so on Instagram now, you have quite a large following, which I know you're gonna want to shed some light on here. Um, yeah, I don't even know where to go. Just to take it away.
All right, that works.
How many
So let's
followers you
see.
got right now? Let's start there.
Let me, because I have my account on my phone. I have 18,441, I
Wow.
think. Uh, yeah, but it's fluctuated a lot. But I'll get into that. So basically, the first year or two, I would say, in the community, I just had no interest of gaining followers. To be honest, I just posted content. I was building a lot of mocks. To be honest, I really focused on like working on my mock skills and just making good look like posts I enjoyed posting, stuff like that. I wasn't really
Yeah,
into the figures as much as I was now
yeah,
as
you
I
had a
am
lot
now.
of great
But
mocks,
thank you,
and you
thank you.
even you had collaborated with a few people at Brick Fair that won an award as well. Like,
Right, right. I'll get into that. But basically, it was my senior year of high school because I'm 20 right now. So I was 18, and how did this happen? So I think I was in global econ with a couple of my really close friends, and one of my close friends, Pierce, shout out Pierce. My buddy Pierce has this. He's British and he has this rugby account on Instagram at the
mhm,
time, and he had around 20,000 followers, but he just was like reposting, professional rugby content, and he was really into gaining followers as fast as he could and posting as much as he could. So he saw my account and was like, "Wow, you don't have that many followers. I can
mhm.
fix that. I can help you." I was like, "Wait, what do you mean? I think I have a lot." And at the time, I had like 2,500. That was
Yeah,
just
that's
solely
that's
from
pretty
just
solid.
yeah, it's pretty good. Just for posting what I thought was interesting, um, and didn't really care about followers at the time. But anyways, he he basically I guess I don't know if this is exposing myself, but he showed me what follow for follow is
Mm,
on Instagram, and I honestly had no idea what any of this stuff was. I just did it for like the art uh, perspective, I guess, not the
right.
numbers. Uh, and he basically told me, for follow for follow, the way how that works is you'd want to go on one of the biggest pages of your category. So I found this page called Warlord Lego, which is actually I talked to him a little bit. He's just a dude in Moscow who just reposts other Lego creations, and I
Mhm,
think he has over like 110,000 followers. But I knew all his fan base was Lego related, so I would go to his like recent posts and go to the likes of those recent posts, and then follow the people of those recent, of the people who liked that his most recent post,
right.
and that actually worked pretty well. I probably got to like 5,000, 6,000 at from just doing that, and then I would just unfollow them later on. And honestly, no one really caught that. I don't think anyone really knew that.
A funny story about that. I don't know at what point it was, if it was one of the first times or towards the later. You must have went through my recent likes and stuff, and you ended up following and unfollowing my girlfriend, and she sends me a screenshot like, "Why is this Lego boy?" following my account now, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Okay. I think I remember that now, because you DM'd me that, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh shoot, I'm about to be exposed." Um, yeah, no, I definitely did that because I saw that. I'm not sure when you got reposted from or on
Counter
CS:GO's
Strike.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I tried to take that to my advantage. It was a douchebag move. Like, I'll be honest, it was a douchebag move. But
I don't know. I kind
I
of
don't.
admire the looking out there because I wouldn't have considered like someone else getting the publicity to try and ride it. I can totally see that as a jerk thing, but I respect the hustle there. So
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did do that once, or like maybe once or twice on one of your posts that kind of like exploded or got explored. I'll admit that. But anyways, so I got to 6,000. Um, and I'm trying to remember because this was kind of like a while. It was about a year and a half ago, like, around then, around 2019, somewhere in 2019. Uh, and what happened? What happened? So then
your
the
mic's still
follow
a
for
little
follow.
muffly. Oh no, it
Oh,
was good.
really? Okay, okay. I just gotta face my computer then.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good right now. Thanks. Sorry.
no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just trying to remember what happened. Oh yeah. So then I told my friend about it. I got told, wow, it's working. It's working really well. But
Mhm.
occasionally I would just get like, because sometimes I'd request to follow some people, some random people, and they would accept it, like months later. So I would just like casually have to unfollow these random people, and it
Yeah.
got really annoying. So I wanted to try to find a better way of doing that. And he told me, why don't you look at, I really don't remember how that started, to be honest, but I somehow got motivated to do, look at shout outs and different meme pages and history related pages,
Yeah.
or just, yeah, look at other pages that have a similar niche group to my content. So I DM'd, honestly, I've probably DM'd like 80 to 90% of all the history accounts on Instagram. I'll have to admit.
Wow.
Like, yeah. And like that might be a lot. Like, well, that's probably a lot, but it's really actually not that many. I mean,
Since it's
they're
like
really not.
niche.
Yeah, yeah, they're really
Yeah.
not that many. And plus, I'd only DM them if they probably had around 10,000 or more followers.
Mhm.
So, yeah, there really aren't that many. But I DM'd all them and I asked them basically. I mean, yeah, there's not really any, interesting. I just DM'd them, for how much a shout out would be on their story, and I got a wide range of prices. I always looked at engagement on those accounts because if you want to get a promotion or a shout out from someone else, you would want them to have a good engagement. Above like 15%. I think is really good on Instagram. I think I have like 19% on my account. I calculated that like a couple months ago. I was just curious. But yeah, because there are a lot of accounts on Instagram that offer paid promotions, but have probably 100,000 plus followers and only get 2,000 plus likes.
Right.
So I sometimes I would just DM them like, hey, I wouldn't really I just I could tell like their account went through some kind of shadow ban process, which I think mine did as well, but we can get into that later on.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyways, I found a couple history accounts. One history account that really worked for my page that kind of uh, really made my page explode pretty fast was called History Cool Kids.
Mhm.
They're on Instagram, no spaces, just History Cool Kids. Uh, I know the person who runs it. I've talked to them, talked to he or she a lot, and uh, her original price was like $300
Oh man,
per
they have
store.
over 1 million followers. That's wild.
Yeah, and she I think she follows me. Um,
Not to
and
flex, of course. Yeah,
yeah,
she
just
does follow
subtle
you.
flex. And basically, her fan base is really loyal, and she has great engagement. And it's a great account too. Like I highly recommend following it if you're just interested in random historical facts. And basically, yeah, I paid for a couple story promotions from her account. And at the time, this was when I was at a different university taking figure posts in my dorm room, actually, just for fun. And I was doing it like every week or so, once a week. and that's mixed with her promotions and my consistent posting, it really started to to grow pretty fast. I remember at one week I had probably like 16,000 profile visits, um, which was really good. Like, and I think I had like 11,000 followers, so I had a significant more amount of profile visits than follow, which is pretty rare. But
Mhm.
anyways, it was definitely a lot of money. It's just, do you want me to disclose how much I've spent? I mean, I can.
If you'd like to, sure.
All right, because I feel like some people are definitely curious. I don't know.
I'm
I've probably
curious.
spent upwards of uh, honestly, probably upwards of $700. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and I'll be honest, at the time when it was really growing and I was getting on the explore page probably for 20 posts in a row, uh,
Mhm.
it was awesome. I felt so up there. Like I felt like, wow, I'm really getting big. Like I'm growing the community. And it was great. But then I took like a break for not posting about 8 months, and that really kind of killed it all. Uh, so yeah, I've learned a lot through doing all that though. But at the same time, I do work. Like I don't, my parents don't just give me money and like, here, go spend that much money. Like I use the money from like my previous minimum wage jobs just to spend on this because I didn't really have anything to spend. Like I just wanted to try it out. And I feel like I was really the only person in the community who actually cared about growing as much as I did. And my purpose really wasn't just to grow myself, like just my own account and my own content, because I don't even
Mhm.
think my own content these days is that good at all. I think my content peaked probably right before I started doing all the follower stuff, uh, because I prioritize the follower stuff over actual content. Um, but I just did it just to grow the community in general because I do shout out posts, other people's content that I like, and
Yeah.
uh, those people do click on the tags I put in my story. So I do try to just grow it, the community as a whole, and I can get into that later on because I was trying to do some big deals with a couple of YouTubers, just try to promote it as much as I can because I think the stuff we do is so um, is so unique compared to any other hobby that I've seen or know of, and I just think more people should be aware of it. Now, I will say I've talked about this with other people, and some people just like that it's a smaller community, and that
Mhm.
kind of and if it becomes too mainstream, then it might just kind of ruin the whole secret kind of
The
Lego
culture
military
of it.
aspect. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I can
So
understand that. But
it's just
at the
like
same
an
time, I value the same thing as you, is trying to grow and expand the community, and that's exactly what I've been focusing on so much the past couple months with, like, the podcast. I joined the Brick Nerd team to try and expose it there. Like, I'm really trying to find ways to just not have this community stagnate and to continue seeing it grow and prosper. So I really appreciate from your perspective what you did there. And I would totally say at the time, I thought it was more of a selfish and kind of cocky um, thing. Like that's how you were perceived by me. And I feel like a lot of other people in the community at the
yep,
time.
yep, yep.
And I mean, no matter what, like I'd hung out with you at cons and talked to you. I know you were really a nice dude, and I've always enjoyed talking with you about stuff. But yeah, it was different. I for a while there, I felt not like you were part of the Lego community anymore, and you were kind of just trying to grow into this other thing instead. You know?
Right. Right. I think, yeah, like you said, I think a lot of people thought that. Uh, so just wanted to make it clear. Um, by the way, I love the podcast. I love this whole,
Thank you.
atmosphere. I think, this is a different way of growing the community in itself. And that's why I wanted to be on it, to be honest. Uh,
Yeah, I'm
so
really
anyway,
glad to have you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. So what was I saying? I was talking, growing
Yeah,
the
sorry, I
community.
totally derailed you there, but
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. So, anyways, I got some shout outs from a couple, big accounts, like, in the million follower range. Uh, and yeah, I would say, I don't know if you when I posted the Yalta conference with Lego Stalin. Um,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that post is also is my biggest post, but that post definitely like I probably gained like 3,000 followers from after posting that in
Wow.
probably 3 days. It was nuts. Yeah, it was. I did not think a Lego account could do that. But anyways, a side story of the whole Lego Stellan thing, because I don't think a lot of people know this. Because no one really made Lego Stellan at the time before
Mhm.
I posted that. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think anyone did. And so I DM'd EK Johnson,
Yeah, K-Town Bricks.
yeah, yeah, and he like recently started his business, and he was doing commissions. So it's like, hey, can you make me a Lego Stellan? And he was like, "Oh, sure." And he made one, and then he actually made, I think, like 20 or so and put them on his website, and they all sold out. So it was a great
Wow.
investment for him. Yeah, and then
I'm
a
looking at the
month
figure
later,
now. It's actually super well done. Like, it came out really nice.
yeah, it's
And
I
I
love
love
this.
I love
Uh,
his digital printing work's been really solid. You can't say that for many printers, but his stuff's been really good. I wish I got my hands on some of it yet, but none of the themes have totally appealed to what I would use it for. But anyway, sorry.
no, it's fine. I completely I like the simplistic look to it. But it was just funny because I remember I think a couple either a month I don't know probably a couple months later the Minifig Co made their own
Oh, I'm so
version.
surprised.
Yeah, and I guarantee you it was because they saw him, Ethan doing it. So
Absolutely. It wouldn't be the
it was
first
just
thing they copied from K-Town specifically, so
exactly. But I could be completely wrong on this because I don't really know. There might be someone back in like 2012 that made one. Who knows?
right.
Who knows? So yeah, that's kind of like the major scoop behind the whole follower thing. I still, I do, uh, some of those really big history accounts really do like the community and my content, and they would have never known about it if I didn't DM them. So
Yeah, for
there is
sure.
that. So uh, that was really the whole story behind the promotion stuff. And then I tried to like my then the same dude, Pierce was like, you should make merchandise because he started making rugby merchandise for his account.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I was definitely influenced,
Did his
and
merch sell well at least?
no, it did not. But we were just being creative. We just wanted to change and then I think what's his name? I Kane something. I'm sorry, I don't remember your at, but he's a great artist on Instagram. I basically came up with the idea of making like these propaganda posters into Lego themes
Yeah.
uh, versions because I don't think I've ever seen that before, and I think the idea is cool. And then I basically just DM'd some artist I found on Instagram, and I had him uh, actually, make it for me, and I paid him like I don't know, $30. Uh,
Nice.
I've sold a solid 5 items
Hey, that's
of
something.
merchandise. So
But you've spawned countless memes, so I mean that was worth it. Roll up to Brick Fair and the
probably.
Brickman merch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I also was kind of like one of the first in the community to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe not, but
I don't
I think
beyond like actual custom stores and stuff like that. I don't think there really is anyone at all doing merch like that. Maybe more on the YouTube side of things. I'm not sure.
right, right. But yeah,
Soon
I
enough, I'll
think
have my own merch line. We'll see.
let's go. I mean, hey, go for it. I don't think there's any problem with it. I will give you one tip is I wouldn't do it through Teespring. That's kind of like the
Oh,
company
really? Why
that
not?
because they take I think 15% of your sales, and I've heard that like when people want to buy merch, they would prefer to have it be from an actual website. Like the Teespring in the
Mm.
URL kind of like lowers the value or not,
As a consumer, I kind of agree with that. I don't really go through there or like Redbubble kind of stuff.
yeah. Um, because I
But
have
then
a
it also requires you to actually get it made in advance. So,
right, right. There, yeah, it definitely is more complicated not going that route, but uh, just a little fun
I'll
tip.
keep it
But
in
I
mind.
know there's an account called Stalin's Gulag Camp. Um, no spaces. It's a history meme account. Great guy. I've talked to him a lot. He was also one of the guys who helped me grow a lot. And he has an interesting merchandise thing. I know that he makes a good amount of money from his merchandise, and he didn't follow the Teespring route. He followed the route where it's somewhat related to drop shipping in a way, where he
Mm.
like bought his own URL and designed his own website and I really don't know how he got the products he has, but there's some method
Yeah, I'm
behind all
looking
that.
through it right now.
Yeah,
Just all
and it's
communist Soviet Union kind of merchandise. Some of it's pretty funny actually.
yeah, and it works perfectly for his account, because it can work. It can work. There are correct alternatives for all that. But anyways, yeah, I just rambled a lot.
It's an interesting world. No, 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 I love it. It's really an interesting world of trying to monetize content creation, especially in the world when so many people want to just kind of get it all for free. And it's weird to even break into trying to monetize stuff when it's more of a hobby thing that is all just like free. Like I don't know,
Right.
like to get trying to do a Patreon for the my podcast because it is costing me money every month to host. I don't mind. Like I knew that was my investment going into things. And that's just what I wanted to do. I want to pursue it for myself and be able to share with everyone. So I'm totally fine taking that on. But
Mhm.
not that it's difficult or anything, but I don't know. I think it's a weird dynamic when you start asking people for money in a hobby you love, you know?
Right. Right. But I mean, you have your Patreon. I mean, everyone who's listening should definitely.
Yeah.
How does that
Everyone
work?
go
You can
check out
like,
the Patreon.
yeah.
I'm trying to get better rewards there so that people are more interested. I'm thinking at the $5 tier, I might have like an extra 30 minutes of content or something from each episode. We'll see.
Awesome. Awesome. Like recently, who was it? I was on some random YouTuber's live stream,
Hmm.
and I did buy like the $5 super chat, and I was curious like if he actually would look at my account, and he did on his live stream, and there were like 20,000 people watching. So, like small things like that, could work. I
That's an
got
interesting angle. I haven't seen stuff like that.
Yeah, I got well, this actually is pretty recent, but I got in contact with do you know the Yes Theory YouTube channel?
Yes. Oh my god, I
Yes,
love Yes Theory. Wow.
awesome. Yeah, so I DM'd their manager because their manager also runs Eric. You know Eric's YouTube channel?
No, I don't actually.
Okay, well it's a small YouTube channel. They like were stranded on island until they got 1 million subscribers or something like that.
Huh, that's neat. Okay.
But yeah, I came across it through one of their live streams, and I just randomly DM'd him like, "Hey, would you be interested in the Lego collaboration?" And he responded back a week later. Did not think he was going to respond back either, but he did. He said, "Love that idea. Can you make Lego Airrack, which is like one of his other content creators that he
Yeah.
runs?" And obviously, I don't custom make figures, but I
Right.
did hit up some of the other guys. I won't say who, but
Sure.
hopefully they're working on it. And I'm sure if they actually made a good, figure of him, he could maybe put it on his in one of his YouTube videos for like 10 seconds and say, "Hey, go check out the Lego military community." I think like
Yeah.
that would be so cool because millions of people watch their videos.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
just
that's
stuff like
really
that.
interesting.
Yeah.
No, it's a smart thing. The one recently like that was Parker. I don't know if you know him, PK Custom Lego. He had
Mhm.
made a custom Adam Savage figure and sent it over to him. Or actually, I don't even know if I can't remember if he met him in person and gave it to him or whatever the case was. But Adam Savage, if you're unaware of him, he loves Lego as well. So he had made like a whole spotlight of it on his YouTube channel and stuff, and it's reoccurred like a couple times. It's pretty sweet.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I know this guy.
Yeah.
He's made a couple Lego videos on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, he was the Mythbusted dude. I never watched Mythbusters, but I absolutely love him as a person now, just through the YouTube channel and having like that maker space that he has just to do anything he wants. That's my dream. That's my dream right there.
Right, right. Yeah. So yeah, there's another example of someone else in the community
Yeah.
doing that.
Not directed to the military community, but customizing as a whole, which is awesome.
Right, right. Which kind of leads into the bigger stuff, which I would say is military, but
Hmm.
uh, it depends. It depends. Uh, yeah, so that's about the whole story behind all of that. Let me think if there's anything else. There are definitely some scammers out there, uh, which I
They won't give you
sadly
the
had.
shout out?
Yep, yep.
That's
Uh,
ridiculous.
didn't get. I technically, like, I got my money back, but
Mhm.
yeah, they literally tried to just take my money, which is sucks. I won't say they're at. I mean, it doesn't really matter anyways, but you just gotta be cautious if you do start doing that stuff. Never send money on PayPal through friends and family because that's not protected.
Yeah,
So fun
unless you
fact.
trust the person, but
Right,
it is a
right,
good info to have out there.
right.
But honestly, you digging into the whole Instagram self-promotion side of things was really fascinating. And I think
Thank you.
just everyone in the community that kind of knows of your page has witnessed that growth and seen it all go on. But to know the like ins and outs of everything that was going on it's super fascinating. I really, yeah, thank you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just. I'm glad I did it. It is a lot of money looking back on it, but uh, I would have never. I mean, I would have never had that experience. I mean, and also my account isn't done. Like, I'm still trying to post content. It's just kind of hard now because uh, of university stuff and
Right.
just busy a lot. As a little side story, speaking of university, the Lego community definitely made an impact on where I go to school now.
Really?
Fun, yeah, little story. So I was in a Skype call with 10 dinosaurs, Spiky Guy and Warbricks, I believe. And we were just talking about random stuff. And I told them that I was interested in doing, or majoring in architecture.
Hmm.
Uh, so 10 dinosaurs told me that there's another guy who's an architecture student uh, who goes for who goes by Intense Potato on Flickr,
Yep. Yep.
or
Toby. He's the
or
homie.
Toby, exactly. During my first year, and I was really interested in going somewhere else. Did not like it there. So, but he goes to, I don't know, should I say? Mm. He
I
goes to
no.
a school in New York,
Yeah.
and
That's all. Let's keep it at that.
yeah, and we talked about architecture back and forth, and he told me to apply, and I did, and I got in, and here I am now living with him in New York.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, you're in New
we're
York right now?
no, no, but well, I was all semester, but um,
Dude,
like
we
right
should have hung
now.
out. What the hell?
Oh, I didn't know you were in. Oh, okay. Yeah, for
I
sure, man.
used to live in New York my whole life. I'm in PA now, but
Oh
dude,
yeah, no,
if you come back next semester, we got to link up.
for sure. Yeah, we're in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I'm in Glendale. That's where I used to live.
Oh, awesome.
Glendale,
Yeah,
Queens.
yeah. So yeah, I'm going back there. Oh, probably the audio's cutting out. I'm going
Yeah,
back
well,
there in a week because school starts. But anyways, he's
dude,
yeah,
we're gonna make this happen. We'll link for sure. So
yeah, for
you
sure.
and Toby are just chilling in an apartment now?
Yeah, and with another guy named Steve. Shout out Steve. And also Logan Lego goes to school there too. So I know Toby and Logan hang out. But
Oh
anyways,
wow. Wait,
yeah,
Logan's in New York now too? What?
yeah, yeah.
I
He
thought
transferred. He also transferred to a school in New York, which is kind of funny.
that's wild.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Wow.
So if I essentially, I don't think this would have happened if someone didn't tell me of Toby, because I literally
Yeah.
did not know who he was until that conversation happened about architecture in the
Yeah,
Lego community.
absolutely.
So there's a big impact. So there's just an example of what it can do.
That's really amazing. So, all in all, after all the follower shenanigans for what is it, like a year or so, maybe? Like really go chasing after that?
Yeah, yeah, a solid year. Yeah.
The how do you feel about Lego as a whole in the community? How's it affected you and your love for the hobby?
So well, it definitely affected me in the school sense because of that example. In general, I think the community, to be honest, I've kinda I've been talking to less and less people in the community, but I still try to just look at other people's content.
Hmm.
I think there are some droughts at times where people just kinda don't really post builds, but that's probably because of school. Uh,
Yeah.
but there's the people who make the mocks that I like still post quite a lot, well, at times, and, uh, I will say it definitely changed my perspective when I met a bunch of people in person, including yourself, at Brick Fair, which we
Yeah.
can go into. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that for you?
So Brick Fair, Virginia, 2019, my first Brick Fair. How it started was basically, I think, back in March of 2019. I think it was March. I was just invited in like a random group chat with, Fury. Uh, I won't say their names, I guess. Fury, Stud Muffin Builds, Amaze Bricks, and Ship Raider,
Hmm.
and Crochet, however,
Yeah,
Hunter,
question
whatever.
like Hunter.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and they just like, hey, do you want to join our collab? I think that's how it started. I don't really remember, and I was like, sure, well, why not? Because they liked my terrain mocks at the time,
Yeah.
and we dabbled through a lot of different themes. The Mongolian invasion was definitely not the first theme we talked about. We probably spent around 3 months just brainstorming different ideas and making layouts just for
Wow.
fun. It wasn't daily like response,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
responding,
But things
but
were mulling over.
right, right. Like once every week or so, we would just have like propose a different idea. And then finally in June, it was getting kind of close to the convention, so we
Yeah.
decided to do the Mongolian invasion of Japan in 1274. I don't think I've ever said that to someone, and they've said, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Yeah, I remember learning that in history class. So that was kind of I think that was one of the main points of doing it was just try to cover a topic that most people aren't familiar with.
Hmm.
And I don't remember who made the layout, but someone made a layout for it, and we kind of divided into each section. Hunter kind of left and joined someone else's collab, so it was basically us five now, and we divided into five sections. And then we kind of like periodically throughout the summer, we just took pictures of our section, our plates, uh, and we gave each other feedback on what to change and stuff like that. And then when we got to the convention, we put it all together. Unfortunately, some parts did not align, so we had to rebuild stuff. Which I remember, like the first day of the convention, we were building till like 2 in the morning.
Oh
Um,
man.
but it was a great time, and that's where I met you, and that's where I met a lot of people in the Lego community. So,
Yeah. I,
and
I
then we
even
won.
got to pose some. Yeah, you guys won. I got to pose the figures on an award-winning mock at Brick Fair. I'm honored, really.
Yeah, and it was it wasn't Fury's first Brick Fair, but the other three, including me, that was our first ever Brick Fair convention. I think it was even some of their first. I think maybe one of the guys. It was one of their first ever Lego conventions in general.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
so just like having a successful collab and then winning and then getting interviewed by Beyond the Brick definitely boosted my confidence and like want to just kind of like stay in the community. Like it was awesome, awesome experience.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And the Beyond the Brick interview was awesome too.
Thank you. Yeah, I
That's that
remember
next
you
level
were like
clout right
standing.
there.
Yeah, you were standing behind them while they were filming us, and we were all
Just
so
watching.
nervous. Yeah, we were just like shaking because we're like, oh wow, we're actually gonna like be on this. So it was cool.
And then half a year later, we were actually able to see the interview, but the
Right,
anticipation was there.
right. It did take a while. It did take a while, but we had some other great moments, like the laser tag. Oh my god, that was so fun.
Oh, that
It
was
was like
wild.
30 dudes from the Lego convention to show up, and I remember there were like 15 or 20 girls, and they had no idea. We just kind of like stormed in, and then I think they played with us, and it was hilarious.
That laser tag, like the actual facility, sucked, but being with everybody, it made it a really great time.
Right,
Like,
right, exactly, exactly. Uh,
yeah, there's so many shenanigans. Your sig fig just getting absolutely violated, just chicken nugget and uh, What that
Yeah, I'm not
what
really
the
sure
what the
what
sig
the
fig did not go through. That event was nuts.
yeah, I'm not sure what the motive was for all of that, but basically, my sig fig just kind of went missing for like 4 days, and then I randomly found it on my table, like the day before, the last day of the convention. So it
Sticky,
was,
battered, and bruised, just
yeah. um,
going back, you
so
mentioned that, a main motivator for you guys to do that mock was how nobody knew of it historically and its significance. All of your recent, figure posts contain, like, a write-up about history. How was it for you, integrating Lego in history? Is history just, like, a passion of yours?
yeah, great question. So I've always been interested in just reading articles and reading books about different historical battles. I was born in Russia. I was born in Moscow. So when I go see my family there, I'm half Russian. When I go see my other half of my family in Russia, occasionally my grandpa will tell me some just war stories. He didn't fight obviously, but like
Mhm.
his parents did, and that definitely made an impact on my interest in all of it. And I didn't really see that many. Like I know there's a lot of historical posts, obviously, in the community, but I didn't really ever see like a real like historical paragraph just providing some context of the actual event.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to start doing that just for fun, literally just for the fun of it. So I will admit in the beginning, uh, I basically just kind of like copy and pasted the article, paragraph
Yeah.
I found really interesting.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, like, I'll admit, like, I did that, yeah. But it still provided like, it still,
Yeah, it was
provided
something different.
context. Yeah. Um, and and then later on, I started just to kinda, like, paraphrase from a bunch of sources that I found, so
Mhm.
you won't
Based on
yeah,
your own knowledge.
right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And you were even providing, like, some really interesting reference images for a lot of your posts, which, had inspired me at one time to do something different and integrate multiple photos, so thank you for that.
Of course, yeah, I also didn't really see, like, the real, like, mix between, history and Lego. Like, yes, we made there are companies that make these parts, but I never actually saw, like, a side-by-side picture of, like, this event in real life and then a Lego version, And
Yeah,
so I just
totally.
wanted to incorporate that aspect as well.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting.
I'm not a history major, this isn't something I wanna it's just a hobby. I mean, you don't have to read the text either. I know like some people claim like why bother do it, I guess, but I think it's just important just for fun, just
Yeah,
to
do it for
provide
yourself.
some.
I'll be honest, I don't read the text, but,
Yeah, it was just fine. Like you don't have to. You know, it's just like an added note if you're interested in what you're looking at. You know.
yeah, yeah, that's really cool. I got a question from somebody on Instagram. Um, what's your favorite era to build in? Or let you could even go beyond that and just say your favorite era in history.
Uh, I would have to think about it, but probably this might sound really generic, but the Vietnam War was always really interesting to me. I took a class on the Vietnam War in at my previous school just for fun. I thought it was really interesting.
Mm. They
I
offered a
always
whole
thought,
class on that?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
uh, and then also just a lot of the Eastern Front conflicts,
Mm.
specifically the Winter War of 1939 to 1940. I just thought that was also really cool. I don't know. It was the birth of it's where oh shoot uh the deadliest sniper in history was kind of known for. He had
Mhm.
like 500 plus um confirmed Soviet kills. Simo Haya, I think. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but I remember reading about him. He was just a Finnish sniper who kind of like barricaded himself in this bombed out little farmhouse in the outskirts of Finland, and he just and he lived throughout the war. Like he basically what happened was eventually the Soviets caught up to him. One of the soldiers threw a grenade into his little hut, and it blew off half of his face. And but then he still survived the damage, and He lived, I think he died in like early 2000s. So I thought that was really
Wow,
interesting.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so just going back a bit, you kind of shifted from being very mock heavy on your page into doing only figure posts. What's the reason behind that?
Right. So it really was just based on my accessibility to my parts. When I started doing figure post, I was at uni, and I only brought my figures with me. So actually, a lot of the purple, pinkish, bluish backgrounds that you see on the first figure posts, those were just on the table in my dorm because I had my camera and I had my figures, and I
Got
tried
you.
to, and I just wanted to keep posting because I feel like a lot of people in the community kind of, not a lot, but you know, maybe not as much now, but in the past, a lot of people who go to college just kind of like start quitting, I guess, and just posting a
Yeah,
lot.
that you go to college and that's it. You're MIA.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and I really try to not fall into that, category, so that was mainly the main motive behind all the figure posts, and then honestly, I just really enjoy doing them. I mean, they're simple, they don't take that much time, but they do provide some, history behind each event, which I thought was really good, um, and yeah, the background's kind of just actually just looking back on it myself, it's just some of them were taken in my room at home. Some of them were just taken in the dorm. Some of them were just one of them was outside. So that was just kind of like the history behind
Just
it.
something simple and easy to keep you in the hobby as you working hard at college. That's cool.
Right. How do you kind of manage your schoolwork and university stuff with Lego and posting?
I'm at home for my college, so it's a
Okay.
45-minute drive. So I'm with my whole collection, on a day-to-day basis. Um, yeah, I mean, it certainly can limit your time, especially if you're trying to hold down other things. And this semester, well, the past semester with COVID kind of freed up a lot of things in terms of actually having to be on campus for an hour and a half class that I can finish all the schoolwork for in 15 minutes. Like, it definitely frees up a lot of time, as bad as
Right.
it is. But yeah, thankfully I'm studying to be a welder. So a lot of my stuff is just in person. It's when I'm there, that's the majority of my time that has to be spent. When I come home, I don't have a lot of homework. It's only for my other classes, for my liberal arts stuff that I have like homework really. Most of the welding professors, obviously I can't weld at home. Um, but they're very minimal on like schoolwork side of things because they're all just very practical and like you're going to learn this stuff here on the job actually working on it. I know when you go home and I give you a sheet, you're just going to do it 10 minutes before class in the parking lot with all your buddies. Like I've had a professor like straight up say that to me like that he's like that's why I never give homework because I know it's just going to be a bunch of crap and that all of you hate. So don't worry about it. Come here, give me your 110%, and then I'll send you off back home. And a lot of people in my program as well are like full grown men who are working a full-time job and then come here to learn welding. So like for them it's an additional pain to have to manage doing like a schoolwork aspect of things. But so yeah, I kind of already have a light workload to begin with that helps me manage to kind of stay engaged in the hobby. And then COVID kind of just made blew it out the water for a lot of people, just so much free time.
Right. Right. That's awesome though. What made you get into that? Like, what made you want to do that?
Um I can't really recall like a time it all started, but I was really interested in getting into set design and stage design for theater performances or
Okay.
movies, etc. And
Uh-huh.
I was passing somewhere in the city. Like we literally like this was something on my mind for a long time and we were passing by the shop, like a garage door was open and on the side of the building was a sign about them being like a stage production shop. And so there's two people outside the garage door just on their cigarette break. And I walk up to them. I'm like, hey, so like this is a field like I'd really love to be in. Like I want to be working here someday, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
like, what should I pursue to get myself into that? Like, should I go to like a 4-year college for design or do XYZ? Like, doing the design stuff's definitely cool for me. Like, I like coming up with ideas like that, but I like working with my hands even more so. And they were just like, if you can weld, you'll get hired on any job site there is, because everyone who comes in can paint a door or whatever. They can put together some wood and to be a carpenter on the set, but unless you're unless you have the talent to weld, there's no way like that you're just going to pick it up on the job site to weld a piece together for a set, right? So after
Yeah.
that, it totally set my sights on that, and I started looking into it more. It seemed like a really interesting field. Being into Lego, I've always limited the scope of things I work on to be really tiny, like just as Lego is, and that's always how I've worked. And looking more into welding was really interesting that I could expand the scale of everything I make. Um, so I'm unlike a lot of my friends or people who are in the program who are coming at it from a very practical angle to be like, oh, I'm gonna go up in Alaska, freeze my nuts off, and make a bunch of money. Um, I'm coming at it just to kind of be more of a craftsman and learn the trade and use it more artistically. And with that will probably come a smaller financial reward, but I'm still gonna say as I've gotten into the program, my sights have sort of shifted away from doing the set design and have now again gone back to making sets and stuff like that. So we'll see. At the end of the day, I've always been more artistically inclined, not declined, more artistically inclined. I knew I couldn't work an office job or something like that. So I was too practical to want to go to art school for 4 years, pay a shitload of money, and then end up with a useless degree that I can't get hired to do anything. So having
Right.
welding is like the perfect medium for me where I have this practical skill. So if times get tough, I could go work a job down at the harbor, welding shit together for 9 hours and get paid $30 to do it every hour. Like it's a solid career. Like it really is. Um, but
That's great.
ultimately, like, I know I could be super fulfilled with that career in a more artistic manifestation of it. So I'll send you a photo actually of something I made for my final this past semester. I made a table which came out pretty interesting. Has a neat
That's
design to it.
awesome.
I
I
liked
didn't
it.
know any of that. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for asking that. It's fun to
Did you take
elaborate.
art classes or just like not art classes, but just art? Did you do different art in high school or?
I was homeschooled through high school,
Oh,
so
also didn't know that.
but yeah, I've been homeschooled since the fourth grade. And then all the way up through high school. I was part of a homeschool group, so I interacted with a bunch of other people who were homeschooled, and parents would host these co-op classes where people would get together and they would teach a plethora of different things. So I've always been involved in more art stuff. Um, but I don't have a talent for drawing or any of that stuff. It's always kind of stayed in the Lego realm. But I'm starting to look into expanding my talents there in like more traditional art in terms of painting. Because now getting into more of the painting side of Lego, I'm like, this is really, really fun. So I'm trying to start doing like canvas stuff to experiment with that. But in terms of college, I haven't taken any art classes there just because the way my schedule works out. Um, it's a community college that's also offering the welding program, so I'm getting like a trade school and 2 year bachelor's degree in one, which is awesome. Because previously I was tied between either going just off to 2 years or going to a trade school. But the requirements of me to take classes, I'd have to be putting on like an extra class entirely just to go for the arts, which it wouldn't be terrible. I probably should have done it, but uh, just drawing feels like such a task for me. So I'd never really pursued that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just didn't know any of that. That's awesome, man. I didn't realize you. Why? Yeah, I didn't know any of that. That's awesome. I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, go for it. I mean, I guess I'm going through somewhat of a similar route because I do go to an art school, um,
Hmm.
but we still have physics and English courses. But a lot of like my big projects for my design class or my other somewhat it's called representation, but it's basically a design class. We like make architectural abstracts. Well, for my first semester it was a lot of abstract work, but Yeah, that's cool. It's like, our two art paths, I guess.
Speaking of architecture, like as a kid, that was in my mind for the longest time exact like that was 100% what I was going to do. Until I realized how it's not Lego. Like you're not so free to just do whatever. It's very rigid and kind of
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's to the code, it's to the books that once I really was exposed to that element of it, I was like, yeah, that's really not going to work out. And since that realization, I've never looked back to even consider architecture. But more power to you if that's what you're passionate about. I love it.
Yeah, I mean I mean most schools it's a 5-year undergrad.
Yeah.
So there's also that, and tuition for most universities these days is so high,
Yeah.
uh, which is another aspect. So yeah, I mean I'm in for the long run. I love drawing. I love sketching buildings specifically. I
Mm,
know that's not what it's all about, but I do really love just like looking at buildings and how they're constructed. So that was basically my main motivation for why I wanted to do
yeah.
architecture.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
can we add one segment? Like, can you cut and paste this or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I was not trying to ask too much because I think some people because when I said a minimum wage to pay for like the $700 whatever shout outs,
Uh,
um, the minimum wage in my area is $15 an hour. So
oh, in Cali.
that yeah. So like
I'm going to tell you in
it's
advance, I'm probably not going to cut that back in.
okay, okay, that's fine. It's fine. It's I think like some people. I to be fair, I did say I live in LA, so they would just know that. That's fine. Yeah.
It's already up to 15 now?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It is.
It is absolutely not $15 in Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that.
Is it like 9? What is it?
Yeah, it's 9.
Damn.
It's rough. I
Well,
started working
it's not as
at a
bad as
job.
Georgia, but yeah.
True. I started working at a job, at a ski mountain, so the only really reason I did that was to get a free season pass anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, I snowboard.
Yeah,
But
I snowboard. Well,
oh,
I can't even call myself a snowboarder. I used to skateboard, for the majority of my childhood, and then for a couple reasons kinda strayed away from it. Um, Snowboarding's always been a bucket list item, and then last year, I went once. They had, like, a beginner course thing. I took a class, like, where an instructor, like, showed you the basics, and then you just went off in this, like, more beginner-centric area, and, like, halfway through my time of, like, this time slot I had to go, I was like, "Hey, can I go over to, like, the next course, like, the mountain and do, like, the beginner courses there?" Because, like, this I'm like I'm, like, already used to doing this stuff, and they're like, "No, your pass doesn't cover that." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" But,
damn.
but
Okay.
I only went that I don't mean that to flex, it was just super comfortable for me to be on a
No, no,
snowboard,
no,
like,
no. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
be the only weird part was being strapped in like that, but yeah, I loved it. I only went once that season, but since then, I've like, yeah, that was the goal for this year was to have some fun snowboarding, and I get a free rental because I don't have the gear and all. Super expensive hobby, just like Lego. I gotta stop taking on super expensive hobbies, but yeah, it's been fun so far.
Yeah, that's great.
How long have you been snowboarding?
I started, let's see, I went to Mammoth. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but that's like in
No.
Northern California. It's about a 6-hour drive or so. Uh, and I think that was back in, oh man, it's been a while. Probably 2014, yeah,
Mhm.
12. Is when I tried snowboarding for the first time. And then yeah, I've only been snowboarding. I've only done it in California. So I've
Got
never
you.
really explored other areas, but I would
Dude,
like to.
if you make it up to PA, I could get, cheap passes for you to come ski here, come
Oh, for
snowboard here.
sure. Yeah, I'm down. I usually go on like blacks and double blacks. Like that's kind of my go-to.
Oh, shoot, I'm not there, I'm on green. I don't know is it a universal color system? I don't even know.
It's green, blue, black, double
Yeah.
black,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the kind of like off course stuff. So
Yeah, the free terrain,
yeah,
freestyle
yeah.
terrain.
Hmm.
Dude, I was going up the lift the other day, and I don't know what possessed me in my mind, but I was like, I could totally like, I haven't even tried jumping on the snowboard, but I'm like, I could totally hit that rail. I didn't try and hit that rail, but I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I could hit that first try.
What's it? Shoot, it's been like a year since like that whole what's that area called? Like just where there's rails and boxes and all that. Just like the
I
park, I
think it
guess.
was just freestyle. I think
Okay,
that's
well,
what they
anyways,
had
yeah,
labeled it
yeah.
as.
I never really did that stuff. I do remember one time I did like I tried doing a rail and I completely failed. I'm more of like a terrain guy, just kind of like
Yeah,
love
just
big,
cruising.
yeah, powders. Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you've gone with like other people, but it is so much better just going with some bros than just going like with your
yeah, I
family. It
haven't yet.
completely changes the environment. It's
I'm
awesome.
looking forward to it. A buddy of mine, and his brother, ski. So next time they're up here, they live in New York, but we're arranging to meet up over there sometime soon. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I just remember like I was in Lake Tahoe with some friends, and
Mhm.
also that's also in Northern California, close to Mammoth, but
Yep.
uh, it was like it was a huge snow day, and then so we went, or yeah, I don't remember I don't remember how many inches of powder, but it was crazy. And then the next day, like everything was just like 6 inches deep. It was so fun, and we could just kind of like go as fast as we wanted to, and just like would fall. It wouldn't even hurt because we
And
were just like falling
no,
on pillows. It was so fun.
that's sweet. I had just bought these. Oh, this is perfect. I can ask you questions about snowboarding that I have.
All
I
right.
just bought these like insoles from Arch Support because literally going down once, my feet were like killing me from the boots. Um, is that gonna help me? The Arch Support insoles.
Yeah. I don't know. To be honest, I've never used those, so I wouldn't know.
Mhm.
But are you goofy or regular?
Yeah, I'm goofy. That's why.
Okay, I'm goofy too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. What
For
like?
people who don't know, we're not just talking like, "Oh my god, we're quirky." Goofy is the stance. So, in skateboarding and snowboarding, it's universal. Standard stance or regular is that you lead with your left foot, and then goofy is leading with your right foot.
Right. Right. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't know. Wait, so you do greens, right? And
Yeah.
like, what's the hardest part for you? Like just in general.
Um, I don't know, like, controlling my speed's been pretty easy, in terms of, like but I think it's just building up the comfortability right now. Like, I'll bail, like, a little bit, like, I'll slide. Doing, I guess it would be
S
a
turns
a
or
uh, yeah, like an S, but doing it with the back foot, like, if my back's exposed to being, I don't even know how to describe it. So, like, if you're gonna slide to slow down, and you swing your back foot out in front of you to stop, super
yeah.
comfortable doing that. But if I
Okay.
do
Okay.
it so that my heel is, like, towards my back and that's how I'm sliding, not super comfortable doing those yet, but
Oh wait. So when you stop, is it easier for you to stop on your toes or your heels? Because that would
I'm
depend on.
stopping on my heels.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely the first the first way to stop, and then eventually you just get comfortable with like facing the slope. So then you would stop with your.
Mhm. Last time I was on, I was getting a bit more comfortable doing that, um especially one time I almost ran over this, little girl, so did a toe stop and it worked. I was able to save that child. So
Right. But obviously you only can do toe stops if you're facing the slope, right? Like you can't
yeah.
because it
Yeah,
would
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that. Thankfully, I haven't had any bad injuries from that kind of stuff. But I will admit, when there's a lot of powder, I love just going just straight down. Like I just don't care how fast I'm going. I can control myself, so I'm not really worried about hitting people.
Yeah.
But if you're just going straight down, and I remember once I literally just jumped. It wasn't even a jump. I just randomly jumped while I was going like straight down, and I just face planted into the snow, and I didn't feel anything. It was so fun. Oh man,
For a while, I was underestimating how much it would hurt. The one thing I like compared to skateboarding is, like, in my mind, mentally, I'm like, "Oh, it won't hurt when I fall." That's the one beauty of it. But then when I fall, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that still did kinda hurt." Not as much as skateboarding, but just like, "Alright,
yeah. I
I
remember
could
when I
get up
first
from that."
started. Yeah, right. I remember when I first started snowboarding, like I would always fall on my butt, so it's
Yeah.
just like that was the most painful part for sure. And well, yeah, and if you fell forward, I guess you would fall on your knees, which also sucks. But that's kind of
Anytime I've fallen forward, it's just straight to my face.
oh
Those
really?
those
Yeah,
have
no,
been the worst for me.
I try to bend my knees, so then I'm just like literally physically doing it right now because I forgot. Yeah, I just bend my knees and I just land on my knees, but
Mhm.
kneecaps. That's cool. It's awesome. Yeah, when you start getting used to it, it's so much fun. Like just doing S turns, it'll feel so smooth. You'll have control. You won't have to be aware of other people.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, I'll work on my S turns.
Yeah, that's like honestly the key thing. And just switching from regular to goofy, if you can just
That's been
start,
actually really fluid for me. That's been fun.
that's good. Yeah.
I was really I was really bad riding, standard or regular, whatever, skateboarding, but doing it on the snowboard hasn't been all too bad, so
Yeah, because it's just uh, you have so much more control if you can just switch stances because then you
Mhm.
basically can kind of do S turns, both ways. So you know when to stop if someone's about to hit you or something, and or not when, but you know how. So
Yep, totally.
it's a good skill. Have you ever been to California, by the way?
No, not at all. I'd love to go. That being younger, I'd always wanted to go to San Diego, Comic-Con, and I mean, even
Oh
before
yeah,
that, um, being into skateboarding, it was like that would be the spot. So, never have though. Someday.
someday. Comic Con's great. I went there like 3 years ago with a friend. It's really crowded. Like
Oh yeah.
that'll definitely be the last thing to reopen
Open.
after all of
Oh yeah.
this. Yeah, it was nuts. I remember just getting kind of lost because you can't even see the booths. Like there's
Mhm.
some sections I was in where it's just there's so many people. The only way you can see like which booth you're going to is like looking up
The
above
huge
everyone.
signs, yeah.
Yeah, it was
I was
nuts.
talking to it briefly, about that with Sam and Hunter, but, going to the New York Comic Cons, I've gone there all the time. The
Oh
past
yeah,
couple years
I forgot
they've
they
gotten
do them
pretty
there.
whack, but,
Huh. Where are they in New York?
the
Do you know?
Javits Center,
I don't know. My first
it's
time
the
going to New York
biggest
was
convention hall there.
oh, that's cool. My first time going to New York was in August for school, so that
Wow,
was
yeah,
pretty
so
good.
you're really fresh to it, that's awesome, though.
Yeah, I bike around.
And
I do a lot of bike rides. I bike around like Brooklyn, and they go over the Brooklyn Bridge, and then I kind of like bike. I do like laps around Central Park. That's kind of like my
nice,
go-to. Yeah,
nice.
workout stuff.
But dude, we're for real gonna link. I'll be, in the city later this month. Let's make it happen.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm totally down. We're like, I mean, I can just tell you
We can
specifically
talk
where.
about it after.
Yeah, it's in the. I can disclose. I mean, it's in the Clinton Hill section of
Okay.
Brooklyn. Yeah, that's basically where I am.
Yeah, I'm, like, over in the Ridgewood area. Ridgewood, Brooklyn, whatever.
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking, because I've been doing Postmates as my job over winter break because all my other jobs are kind of like booked or just
Mhm.
like because of COVID, everyone's looking for a job right now. It's honestly not a bad job. Like I was kind of surprised. The I mean, I guess it depends on the area for sure. Uh,
Right.
but if you get good tips, like I made like 150 in like 5 hours last night of just like constantly delivering. It was great. It
Nice.
was yeah. I
And you're
just
just bike
ran like
riding for it?
no, I drive, so I just drive,
Alright.
but they don't cover your gas,
Mm.
which was another kind of crappy thing. But I was just thinking about it. I remember when I've ordered Postmates. This is so random. Ordered Postmates in New York, and like it gets there in like 5 minutes because all those people just use those electric bikes, so they don't
Yeah.
actually
Yeah,
use
they
any
don't
gas.
actually obey traffic laws.
Yeah. And they get there, and it's like you know steaming hot because they just got it from the restaurant.
Hell yeah.
It was funny.
That's good. Alright, man. This has been really good. You wanna move on to Copper Drop?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Hell yeah. So, hopping into Copper Drop here, I have a special lineup for you. Since you are the merchandise king, we're only doing merchandise. All right. No actual bricks involved this time. But first up isn't a product yet. It was like a teaser on the person's story trying to gauge some interest. But we have the Brick Tactical shirt. How you feeling about that? Let me read off the text.
Uh,
Here. Like made
now
precise, made right, made precise, made American with a big ol' MP5. How you feeling on that? Is that a cop or a drop?
I don't know. It just depends on like where you're gonna like wear it, like and for like what. I guess I don't know. Uh,
Sorry,
yeah. I
ladies,
mean,
but the Brick Tactical shirt stays on during sex.
yeah. I definitely don't wear that if you go on a date or something. Yeah, I'll say cop just because of the next one.
Yeah. You gotta set the standards.
Right. Yeah, it's not that bad. I like kind of how um
I like the
it's
skeleton
not
design on the MP5.
yeah, and it's not just like all out there, just like this is Lego. Like you'd have to kind of I really don't like the shirts where it's just like this is Lego. I kind of like
Yeah.
incorporating like different aspects of
Yeah, I'm with you there, I get you. Alrighty. Next up, we have the Brickmania face mask with the white Brickmania logo on it.
it. How much do they charge? There's like
$10.
$10. Oh
$10.
my god. Yeah, definitely a drop for me. You can buy a medical mask, which are the ones that actually do stuff. I know that some cloth masks, like I saw a video of some guy. It was a while ago, but he lit a candle, right? And he had a cloth
Yeah,
mask
and
on,
you can blow it
and he
out, yeah, I've
blew
seen that.
through it, and he could blow it out, right? And but with medical masks, you can blow as hard as you want, and it doesn't do that. Like it wouldn't.
Yep.
So my answer is that is just if you have a mask, just buy a medical one. They're $1. They're $1 each. Like it's just the best
I think it's even
solution.
cheaper when you're buying a case, but
Yeah, yeah, probably. So
last up here, Brickman merch. Is that a cop or a drop? I just wanna know, have you copped your own merch? Do you actually have a piece physically yet?
no, I
What?
have not. Yeah, I probably should.
Man.
Uh, I will say, I mean, okay. I think the idea behind it is pretty cool, even though I'm the one who thought of it. I don't. Have you ever seen propaganda like World War
I
II
didn't
posters?
I've never seen the Russian one, but the not a Make America Great Again, the America Needs You, Uncle Sam, whatever one, that one
Yeah,
I've seen before.
really, in a Lego version.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I've
wow.
seen it
Okay.
Legofied too. I'm pretty sure it was the one Eclipse Graphics made was Legofied.
Okay. Well, at the time, because I think thought of that like I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I didn't know. I really thought that was like that was the first time someone's done that. So I thought, yeah, I was just trying to be super
I
original.
think Vic had his out for a while, but either way, I mean, there's
Okay,
so
but
much
the other
overlap
one,
in thought in the community, like, you can't knock somebody, be like, "Oh, you copycatted this." Like, you can't say that right off the bat. Like, if you've never seen another one, I mean, that is your idea, that's cool. And it came out nice, the designs are actually pretty good.
thank you. I personally think they could be a little better, and I could have just provided a larger variety of like designs, not just
Mm,
two, which could definitely help. Uh, but yeah, if you're interested, it's the link and it's the first link. Actually, I don't even think it's the link in my profile because I have my YouTube on. I know if you go to my page, the.Brickman on Instagram, when it says new merch, you can just go to click that and swipe up, and you can
yep.
check it out for yourself. I try to keep the prices really reasonable. Like I really don't make if I sell any because I've only sold like five. I really don't make like that much from it because Teespring takes a lot. It was really just kind of like a fun experiment.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a cop.
Hell yeah.
Cop my own merch.
Gonna pull up to Brick Fair, decked out in Brickman merch.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyways.
I have thought about expanding that theme of just because I know um, uh, Eclipse Graphics I think did a couple of posters like that, and TMC did that.
Yeah.
It kind of like became like a popular thing. Like I think I've seen a poster, a Lego version of one of those posters from every company
Mhm.
because they must sell well or are easy to print because it wouldn't make sense why they all do it. And I will admit, some of them are pretty horrendous. I can tell some of them they must have spent at least no more than like 30 minutes on the design. But yeah, it's just a cool little thing. fun thing
For
to do.
sure. But yeah, it was really great having you on, Martin. Thank you so much for being on. It was a great conversation. Any
For sure,
last
man. Thank
words
you
for the
for
viewers here? Well, I guess
oh,
listeners, I should say.
right. Uh, you can check me out on the.Brickman on Instagram, the Brickman on YouTube, and the Brickman on Flickr. If you're interested in looking at my other content,
Yep.
also check
Cop his
out Bill.
merch.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you don't have to. Just try to, if you're interested in history or just love history and Lego. I think my page and many others would be great for that. Check out Billy's page as well. He makes some great mods and some great figures. So yeah, thank you for having me. It was a great time.
Yeah, thank you, man. And that wraps up my conversation with Martin. If you like this episode, make sure to leave a review on iTunes or suggest the podcast to a friend. I want to give a huge thank you to all of our patrons over on patreon.com. We have Seth, Luger Enthusiast, Tupolev, Mike, and Justin, and I really can't thank you all enough for your support. If you're interested in supporting the Patreon as well, there is a link in the link tree in our Instagram bio which will lead you directly to our Patreon. And make sure to come back next week as we talk with YT_Neo.